3, 2, 1. Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Wolfie here. We are back. Now, the first thing you can do on this video, as always, is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also hit that bell so you do get a notification every time I do drop a new video. But as you guys will know, if you are a regular around here, I do upload at 11 AM every day UK time in the morning. And finally, my Twitch channel is down in the description below if you want to go and drop that follow. We're nearly at 16,500 followers on Twitch, which kind of blows my mind actually. So big ups to you guys for supporting that. And also on YouTube, we are well on the way to 10k, man. Can we get it before the end of May? You never know. Now, what I've got for you today is a very much anticipated and very much sought after player switching tutorial from my weekend league games. Okay, so what you're going to see on the screen today is not the control on the screen, but the buttons that you need to press and the arrows on the right analog stick in terms of which direction you need to move it to switch to which player and stuff like this. And I'm also going to tell you when to use the right analog stick to switch and also when to use LB or L1 on PS to switch, okay? It's a really good video and I hope you guys enjoy it. And as you're now going to see me go up to normal size, hello. You're now going to see this weird screen right here, hello. Let's get into it. So what we've got here, okay, straight away, you see here, the issue, bang, straight away. The main issue right here is he's going to play that ball down to Lionel Messi, but the bumper isn't above this player, so you're going to need to, you're going to see in the minute, you're going to see the right analog stick be pressed down in like a 90-degree angle to get to this player here, okay, to then get close enough to this player, because this player's here, it's where the danger is. So with the right analog stick, move it down, bang, select that player down here, and then bang, I then player switch to Ramos with LB here, and the reason that I do that is obviously the danger is here, but Ramos it's got this little cursor over his head here, so that tells you who the next player is going to be that you select if you press LB. So you press LB or L1 on PS. Obviously, there's a lot of PS players here. Press LB and L1, and it will then bring you up here to Sergio Ramos. Look, bang. Obviously, and then you close him down, intercept the ball back. Boom. King Bob's your uncle. You then have the ball. Now, here again, it is, again, another right analog stick switch. The reason for this, okay, is because the bumper is above this player here, right next to it. I don't want to switch to that player. I want to either switch to Johan Cruyff or Witsel. The game here, you just go down in a right analog stick, and unfortunately, the game will then 50-50 decide whether you're going to switch to Cruyff or Witsel in this instance. I'm going to suggest that it goes to Witsel, which it does, which is then good. Bang. And then you see here, you then switch with your button in this input, okay, in the next one, because you see the button here is above Ramos's head. As soon as the ball has gone past you, then press LB or L1 once, and it will then bring you this player. This is the really key point, okay, YouTube. The way this little faded icon is here above the next player, that will tell you who the next player will be if you press LB that will you be selected by. So you need to remember that, okay? So every time you just want to press LB and L1, bang, it will then take it to that player that's got their cursor above the head. Once again, the cursor is above the head of my left back, Regulion. So once again, I press LB or L1 in this instance on PS. It will then give me Regulion because the danger is this guy's right midfielder, okay? So one thing that I want you to learn is when to use the right analog stick for switching and when to use LB and L1 for switching. So I'm going to keep drilling it into you. When you press LB or L1, okay, it will select you to the player that has like the faded cursor above the head. It's called like the second man cursor, I think, in the settings or something like that. I know a few people actually have this setting off, which blows my mind. So go into the camera and controller settings and turn that setting on. I can't remember which one it's called, but you'll know when you're looking at your settings at the start, you'll see what you mean. So move the right analog stick here to the right because you are going to want to select Sergio Ramos there. Bang, intercept the ball. And then once again, you're going to want to select your Regulion, but the LB selection would take you to Kimmich in the middle of the park. You want to go to Regulion that is the left back in a situation like this. So you move the right analog stick down into like a, I don't know how many angles it is, but you'll see it come on your screen in a minute, into that direction, down to the right a little bit. And it will then bring you up Regulion so you can then put some pressure on the ball. Thank you very much. And then here, the cursor, once again, you will see a pattern here. The cursor is above Diego Carlos. So what button do you press here? Let me know in the comment section what button you would press at this point. That would be LB or L1 because the LB and L1 button, I'm drilling it into you because a lot of people don't understand this, okay? It's how I like to give people advice, just by drilling it into their brain so it sticks. The LB and L1 button will be stuck on the player that has got the faded cursor above their head. Look, I'm going to press LB and L1 here. Who is it going to bring? Who is it going to control me with? Sergio Ramos. Why would I use LB and L1 in this situation, not the right analog stick? Because Sergio Ramos is the player closest to the ball. And I always, in my decision making in terms of defending, is always like to defend and intercept the person that's closest to the ball. I like my defender to control the person close to the ball. So, for example, this guy here, you see I get aggressive up tight. And then you see here, I actually do this with the right analog stick, even though you don't have to. The right analog stick or the LB is what you should use in this instance. Either way, you're going to be selected to Regulion, the player that's there on the screen. You're going to be selected to him, okay, no matter what. I move the right analog stick in this direction anyway, just because my finger was on the right analog stick anyway, so it's easier. Bang, get Regulion. Do a bit of LT jockeying, and then bang, you're in for a winner. You see here, okay, I can't see who the cursor is selected to, so I don't know if I press LB who it's going to select to. So he's played the ball down the line. I am then going to move my right analog stick to the left. You will see it come on your screen in a minute to then control the right back, because as soon as he's played that ball, I want to control the right back straight away. A very key point in terms of player switching is try and do it when they're making a long pass like that. Do it as soon as they've passed the ball and then try and intercept the ball. You see that it nearly worked. It's a really good way to start the counter attacks and stuff like this. You're here once again. I want to select Sergio Ramos. Either one works, LB or the right analog stick. I use the right analog stick in terms of my switching a lot of the time anyway. So even if the LB button switches on, which it is to Ramos here, because you see the little fade cursor above his head, I use the right analog stick anyway. So do it whatever degree angle that is with the right analog stick. Once again, right analog stick up and then back down. You see how the way I defend, I like to always select the player that's closest to the ball. Which is why then this is what you're now going to see now is everything just sped up in normal defending highlights, okay? You see here a lot of right stick switching, a lot of LB switching. The way you want to defend, okay, or the way I like to defend, if you want to try and emulate my style, this is something you should do. Always try and select the player closest to the ball, okay? So whoever your opponent is controlling the ball with, you see here, Javinho, try and get a closest player to him. You see me here, it's how you put on pressure and try and anticipate where they're going. Use your brain. Where are they going to go? Intercept the ball. Charge out with your fullbacks. Charging out with your fullbacks is a key thing. We then do include the goal because I'm showing you what can happen if you do charge out with your defenders. A little bit nice goal here from Gnabry. Running down the byline. What can I do? Looking for the cutback. Kimmich. Boom. Thank you. King Bob's your uncle. GG's in the chat. But you see here, look, always controlling with the player closest to the ball. It's just the way I've always defended. I've never really been one to AI defend, really. It's just not my game. My game is all about being aggressive, putting the squeeze on, trying to anticipate where they're going to pass the ball or where they're going to turn into. Because at the end of the day, this is a video game. I know this is my livelihood in terms of it's how I make my money and stuff, but it's a video game, and on a video game, we like to have fun. And how do I have fun? Being aggressive in my opponent's face, letting him almost suffocate, even make him feel like he's got nowhere to go. So, in terms of the defending, boys, another key tip is make sure you're holding jockey a lot of the time, which is LT on Xbox or L2 on PS4. Because the player switching in delayed gameplay is an absolute nightmare. Now, one tip I will give you, okay? In delayed gameplay, player switching is an absolute nightmare. So try and use the right analog stick as much as you can in delayed gameplay. If any of you play the Weekend League, you will know what I'm talking about. That delayed, sluggish, heavy gameplay is absolutely vile. Absolutely vile. But that's it. That's the certain situations where you want to be using the right analog stick in, especially the delayed and heavy gameplay. I noticed with the LB sometimes it doesn't really work in delayed and heavy gameplay. So use the right analog stick. You see me there with Ramos being so touch tight on him. It's how I like to defend. Make him feel like he's got nowhere to go. Quick player switching with the right analog stick. Always as quickly when they're passing the ball. Look, anticipate where it's going. Look, bring your team up. Look at the squeeze. Manually player switching with the right analog stick, making him feel like he's got nowhere to go. 0-0 in the 53 minute, and I'm still squeezing him like this. You know, this is what you need to do. Bring your defenders out. Where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? Switch with the right analog stick. Boom. Take the ball off. Switch with the right analog stick to the right centre back. Right centre back, Wolfie. Right centre back. Yep. Bang. Thank you very much. Mark the run with Sergio Ramos. We need to get cheese. Stay composed. You will get cheesed on this game, but the big thing is you need to stay composed. Now, if this video did help you guys, I would love it if you did hit that like and a subscribe button if you haven't already. The aim, of course, is 10,000 subs before the end of June. Can we get there? We've got like a month and a bit. I'll tell you what, the growth on YouTube's actually been mad, you know. I was looking at it the other day. I had a screenshot on my phone of when we hit 2k subs, which was like a mad achievement for me. I was gassed with 2k subs. And it's only about a month ago that we hit 2k subs. I mean, now we're at like 8.1k. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups now. It's actually mad how quick we're growing. It really is mad. But in terms of the player switching, okay, the big thing that I would say for you guys is use the right analog stick and just switch it in the direction of the player that you want to control. It really is that simple. Obviously, I haven't improved it. I haven't got the analog stick with the arrows on this bit. I just wanted to show you how I defend and how the quick player switching really does help with the defending, because A lot of people don't realise the player switching for me this year is the biggest skill gap in the game. It's how you put pressure on your opponent with the right analog stick and stuff like this. It's how you can make your opponent feel like he's got nowhere to go, and then it'll give you more opportunities to score as well. You start from the defence. If you concede 0 goals in the weekend league in 30 games, I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think it ever will happen. Wait, did Tex do it once? I can't actually remember. But if you concede 0 goals in the weekend league, you're not losing. I mean, you might lose on pens, but you're not losing. You're going to get 30-0. Simple as that. I mean, you might. You maybe because of pens. But in terms of the defending, boys, the big thing, okay, move the right analog stick into the direction of the player that you want to control, okay, and try and control the player closest to the ball because it's the best way to ease the pressure. Also, hold second man press a lot. That would be RB or R1 on your controls. It's A on my controls because I know a lot of you will probably disagree, but the second man press is really effective. It's not as effective as previous FIFAs. I know on FIFA 18 and FIFA 17, they were disgustingly over-effective, the team they contain. But this year, it's not as effective. Your team doesn't really press that much. But you can still press, you know. You can still press at the end of the day. Now, this is the last clip you're going to see. See what I mean about controlling the player closest to the ball at all times. Make you feel like he's got nowhere to go. And that is sorted. Now, guys, let me go back to the big screen. If you did enjoy this video, as always, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Let me know some feedback on this player switching tutorial. Did it help you guys? Will it improve you in terms of the player switching scenario? Let me know. And I will see you next time. Peace.